Y'all, if you're watching this video, you might have heard about the Google Helpful Content Update. Now, Google comes out with algorithm updates quite often, usually 2-3 times a year, and it's something we're always tracking here at Carrot, because what our clients trust us in and what our clients have had so much success in here at Carrot is ranking high in Google. When you look at sell my house fast, insert any city in the country, or any motivated house seller phrase, and even into buyers in all of North America, US, Canada, even overseas a little bit, our clients control Google for motivated house seller phrases the way that Zillow controls Google for retail buyer phrases. So it's something we focus on. We take algorithm updates seriously. Now, the one that Google is rolling out this summer, called the Google Helpful Content Update, like I mentioned, is one we want to pay attention to. And I'm going to kind of walk you through what the Google Helpful Content Update is, what we need to start to do differently based on this new update, and then how we can use the Carrot tools to really help to save time, save money, and wade through these changes. Now, the biggest thing I want you guys to write down or to recognize right here is over the years, we've always built tools and adjusted our websites in ways that help you stay ahead of the search engines. The biggest thing that Google's always looking for is they're wanting to make it an amazing experience for the searcher in Google. So one of the big updates they made a few years ago was they took the ads off the side and they put them in the top and the bottom. Why? Well, because most searches were happening on mobile devices, and so they said, well, let's make the search experience better for more people. And they've made lots of updates over the years on how you do backlinks and millions of other things. Well, this is just another one of those updates. And I'm going to walk you through what the Helpful Content Update is and what we need to stop doing as an industry in general, and how you can use the Carrot tools to surmount that. So the first thing with the Google Helpful Content Update, and we're going to put some links below to Google's actual post about this because they have some really, really clear details. But it's rolling out right now here over the next 2 to 3 weeks, end of August, going into September. And they're saying that we'll probably see whatever impact, either positive or negative, over the next month, month and a half, maybe even 2 months. Now, there may be no impact on your website. There may be an impact on your website, negative or positive. And so we want to make sure that you're aware of that. And one of the biggest things you can do is go inside your Carrot system and add your main keywords to your SEO tracker if you don't already have them in there. So if you pop over here in the rankings tab, you can add keywords you want to rank for, and then it'll tell you your up-down trend. So that's the first thing that we need to do, is we need to make sure that we know where our current rankings are and we know what's happening so you can make a move if your rankings start to dip from this algorithm update. Now, this algorithm update is going to impact any and all website systems, and we're going to show you how to wade through that as a Carrot member. The next couple things on the Google Helpful Content Update from Google is they want to really have us write content on our websites for humans, not for search engines. This is something we've been talking about for years. When Mr. Adrian Nez was with us and on the weekly coaching calls, he would always talk about having a really good balance on the way that we write our content. We always want to write the content for humans first and search engines second. And the reason for that is back in the day, you would write an article and you'd stuff it with 1 million keywords. And Google would like it because it had all the keywords in it. But when a reader read it, it was weird. It didn't flow well. It looked like broken English sometimes, but man, it worked because Google loved it. And years ago, we started making that shift to say, let's really focus on the user experience. Let's make it so when someone lands on a Carrot website, they're encouraged to click through and see the content. Let's make it so the websites convert really high, because that's an indication of a good user experience. The lower your website ranks, the lower it loads speed-wise, the worse the user experience. And so we can help to do these things with and for you to make the content more helpful. Well, another couple things that they're looking for is extensive automation in topics of varying topics. So we have our automated content blog system. We're going to show you how to use it the correct way here in a second. But what some people have been doing that we've noticed over the past 6 months, a year, is some people are taking the automated content system and they're scheduling up like a blog post every day and they're not modifying it at all. Or even the worst ones that we've seen is we were seeing sometimes 3, 4, 5 blog posts a day. And guys, that is going to make a website that is not going to serve your clients. It's not going to serve you. You might get an initial uptick of rankings, but then you're probably going to get clobbered by Google long term. And we've been working with lots of clients on starting to pare that down. And you're going to give you a couple tips on how to do that. The first tip on how to do that and to pare that activity down, that's a no-no activity. Don't take our automated content posts and just start to blindly schedule them, one a day. We suggest maximum 1 per week, maximum. And we're working to make some product changes right now to get ahead of this algorithm update with you. but try not to schedule any posts, or if you did schedule posts, that have the same keyword on those blog posts as your homepage or as your locations pages. I'll give you an example. If your homepage is optimized for Sell My House Fast Florida, you don't want a blog post that's optimized for Sell My House Fast for Cash or the Sell My House Fast type of phrase. So that's the first thing. Log into your system. Go into the content area of your system and go to blogs or posts, and then you can do a quick search over here on the side, and you could type in the main phrases that your homepage or locations pages are trying to rank for, like Sell My House Fast. I can type that in, and then you're going to go into the SEO title section and start to find any of the blogs that are optimized for that phrase that your homepage is for. And then we're probably going to start to archive those or unpublish those, because we want to make sure that Google is recognizing those as helpful content moving forward. So that might take you 5 minutes, it might take you an hour, but I can tell you that eliminating those posts that are conflicting in content or too close in content, that's going to be something we're going to want to do with this update for sure. So a couple more things with it, and I'm going to give you guys some specific action items and some examples of those who are using these tools correctly to get great results. So a couple other things, guys, that Google's looking for in this is they want to make sure the website has a primary focus. Now, what does that mean? They don't want websites that are talking about a million different topics. Now, most of our clients have a very, very hyper-focused website. That's why we have the website specific for a lead type. And so if it's a motivated house seller website, it's very hyper-specifically focused on house sellers. One thing that I want you guys to look for is we've seen some clients posting cash buyer articles on their motivated house seller website, or they're posting motivated house seller articles on their cash buyer website. And we want you guys to be careful of that, because that might start to show Google, man, it might confuse them a little bit. And what is the topic of the website? It's on real estate, but is it for buyers? Is it for sellers? So try to keep those hyper-focused in there. Another couple things, guys. Will someone reading your content leave feeling that they've had a satisfying experience? Well, how can we do that? One of the ways that we can do that is we can make sure that when we're scheduling up these automated content articles, and this is something we've been teaching for years, y'all, but I think that it kind of got lost in the sauce and a lot of people are just blindly scheduling them, is schedule them up, because the value that you can really get from that tool is we're doing the research for you for the keywords. We're writing the titles for you based on our keyword research, and we write a blog post for you. Now, what we would suggest you do, rather than having to go through all that research yourself and all that time yourself and to start the blog post, is you or a VA or someone can take that framework that we've created and spend 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes modifying that blog post really well, like Tyler Ford, one of our clients, has been doing and teaching for years and years. We've been teaching the same thing. And you might double the blog post and content. You might add 30%. You might adjust 50%. But that's way faster and way cheaper than going and writing fully custom content. So those are the first two tips, guys, is go through your automated content, do that search for the phrase that your homepage is optimized for, and then eliminate any blogs that are optimized for the exact same phrase. Just unpublish or archive those so they're not live anymore. They're probably competing against that homepage. And then go through and make sure that when you're scheduling up blog posts, you use that framework, but you don't just schedule them and post them with no modifications. Now, I'm going to give you guys a caveat here. We have a lot of our clients that have done that, and they're doing insanely well with their Google rankings. Okay, we have clients who are, Sell My House Fast, or selling a house in probate in Birmingham as an example. Those are almost all dominated by Carrot clients using our content automation tool, and they've done very little, if no, customization on those automated content articles. Now, the question here that we're going to be monitoring with you guys, and this is why it's important to stick with Carrot, because we're following the data in aggregate and working with insanely smart clients of ours, like Keith and like Andy and others, who are on the ground so we can move quicker. And we're going to help come to the market with better data and better guidance faster than you'll be able to get anywhere else in the industry. So we're going to be tracking this over the next several weeks, next several months. But we may see a rankings decrease potentially in some of those articles that have had no customization at all if Google sees them as not very helpful. Now, we've been writing those in a robust way to have them be as helpful as they possibly can be when we don't know the specific market a client is in or your specific business model. We've done as well as we can do to write articles that encompass our broad swath of clients to give you a good start. But what we can't do as well as you can is modify it to really fit your market a lot more closely. Let's look at a couple other things here. Then we're going to bounce to specific action items, examples, and wrapping it up here. And we're probably going to be coming out with more content over the coming weeks and months as we see this update unfold, guys. Okay. So the automation part of it, I'm showing this here on the screen right here from Google's actual website. It says, are you using extensive automation to produce content on many topics? And we have to really read that one well, because it doesn't say that they're going to be looking for automation as a whole. It says extensive automation, and it says to produce content on many topics. Okay, so what does that mean? They're not really defining what that means, so we're going to be looking for it. But as long as we're keeping our topics tight to the lead type that we're focusing in on, and we're not using extensive automation like I'd mentioned, and publishing a post a day or 3 posts a day or 4 posts a day like some people have done, and sticking it to 1 post a week max, and then modifying that post, which is going to save you tons of time and money from writing your own articles from scratch or hiring someone, then we feel that's likely going to keep us very within the realm of what we're doing, as long as we're not creating content that cannibalizes the other pages, keywords that we're already going after. Okay. Are you writing about things simply because they seem to be trending? We don't have a lot of clients doing that. Does your content leave readers feeling like they need to search again to get better information? Are you writing to a particular word count because you've heard or read that Google has had a preferred word count? They say they don't, which is true. And we've been teaching that for years too. But where word count can be important, and this is what we've taught over the years, is when you're looking where you want to rank in Google. And let's say you're wanting to rank in Google at the top of Google right here. Here's an example I'm sharing on my screen: pros and cons of living in Roseburg, Oregon. This is one of our hybrid agent investors. I'm going to show an investor one here in a second. It's been ranking #1 in Google for since they published it here a little while ago. And they have a lot of other ones that are crushing it in Google as well. And they're over and above a bunch of YouTube videos, some national websites, things like that. Now, when I go into this here, they have a very robust article that they used our automated tool called Video Post to use. They created a really good video, and then they took that transcription and then they made it an article. They added value to that transcription. They took it and increased the value to make the reader really love the content that is there. It's useful. When they end up leaving this page, they're probably going to go, man, that was a really useful piece of content. One of the ways that Google looks at whether it's useful is they're going to say, how long is someone staying on the website? It's your time on page. They're going to be saying, what is the bounce rate on that page? In other terms, did they land on the site and within 3 seconds or a minute bounce and go somewhere else? Okay, did they click through the website and check out other content or other pages? That shows that it was likely valuable enough for them to stay. And so these are things we're going to be looking for with you and making adjustments and pivots in our product and education to keep you ahead of that game, so you guys can continue to soar in this market. So this is a great example of one done well. A video post, they added some images, they added some headlines, way cheaper, way faster than hiring someone to write a piece of content. Anthony just got in front of the camera, they edited it up, and they got it on there. He does his videos fancy. You can just do your videos on a cell phone, but make the content useful and connect. Okay, so I'll show you another example over here. This one here is an example when I look inside of this client here and we look at the traffic and leads over the last 30 days. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, shoot, do blog posts actually generate traffic and leads? Well, they do if they're done right. And like I said, our tools with Video Post and our content automation tool, they do the best we can do to give you the tools to streamline and make content marketing easier. But there's nothing better than learning how to be an SEO expert and doing all your keyword research yourself and creating every piece of content from scratch. But most of our clients aren't going to do that. So these tools help give you an edge if you're not the SEO expert, and if you don't want to be able to do everything from scratch, we help you on that. So this is what they did here. They went through our content automation system and they said, what article titles are in here? And then they went into our Keyword Explorer tool and they said, okay, well, let's see if any of these topics are getting any level of traffic in my market. So you can take our topics from our content automation system, then you go into our Keyword Explorer tool, type in a phrase related to that and see what type of traffic is happening in your market or in general. If there's any more than even 10 searches a month, that's something that is likely going to be useful for you to put out if you put a little bit of time into it. Okay. Now, of course, the more searches, the more traffic you can get. But if it's a very short amount of time that you're using to get that piece of content out, we see leads coming in, even for topics that show 0 searches per month because people are searching it. Now, let's look at this one. This was an article that they found the topic for in our automation system. And this is in the past 30 days, y'all. Past 30 days, they've got 598 visits to that blog post. Okay, that page. They got 20 leads through that page right there. So if we look at this here, sell a house and stay in it, the ultimate guide. They took the topic inspiration from our system And then they started to build out more content. They said, well, how can we take this section of that article and build it out to make it more robust? How can we take this section of that article and build it out to make it more robust? This got them 26 seller leads, y'all, in the past month because they put a little bit more time in and energy in using the content automation system. Here's another example. How the foreclosure process works in Florida, okay? So you can take inspiration from our content, then you can start to build it out, make it more robust, put calls to action throughout the page. This can be way faster than going and creating content from scratch, but it is going to take some time and energy and effort, okay? So this is how we start to win in the content system, in the content game now, and it's going to be rewarded even more moving forward from Google, okay? So I'm going to kind of wrap it up right here, guys, and I'll give you the whole recap. Google's making an algorithm update. They want the content to be optimized for humans and not for search engines. And so as we're using our content automation tools, always ask the question, why am I creating this content? Am I creating the content just to get something up online because I think and I hope that it's going to rank well in Google? Or am I creating this content because it's actually going to be useful and plug a gap of content that my website does not have on it for certain types of prospects and certain types of situations? And we're going to come out with more content on how to create a content silo on your website to really make sure that Google loves that, and how we're going to be coming out with product updates to make it easier for you. But let me recap. Google has an algorithm update, helpful content. It may impact many of you. It may not impact you, but it's something we should be ready for. We think it will impact many of you who have been using the content automation tool in mass with a lot of automation and not really optimizing the articles at all. But for those of you who are doing things like these examples and taking the content automation tools like Video Post and our content automation library and tweaking the articles and adding value, they're going to be rewarded, I feel. Okay? And so what can you do? Well, go through and look in your content if you've posted a lot of blogs and type in the phrase that your blog posts are ranking, or that your main pages are optimized for, like sell my house fast or sell my house. Type that into the search box for the blog post and start to archive or eliminate any blog posts that are going after the same keywords as your location pages or home page. Okay, archive and eliminate those. Number 2 is go through and look at any of the content that you have posted, see where it's ranking, and if it is ranking good, go in there and start to modify it and build it out and make it more robust. Add some images, add some extra content to it, tweak those up to make them really, truly valuable to your prospect. Okay, number 3 is moving forward, make sure that you're not really doing more than one per week, and make sure that every post that you add adds value for a specific chunk of content in your website that's currently missing for a prospect, and we're not just scheduling just to schedule it. That worked amazing for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 years of that tool, but things adjust, and we want to adjust with you and make sure that you're taken care of here at Carrot. So keep an eye out for other updates on this, y'all, product updates, content updates. Watch our YouTube channel for more information on this. We're going to help you wade through this together. And like I said, this is impacting all websites. It's not a Carrot specific thing, but it will impact Carrot clients who have been using the content automation tools in ways that Google doesn't like anymore. And so we're going to work with you guys to readjust the way that you're using it, innovate our product to get you ahead of the game, and help you guys win more leads, more deals in this market shift. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of the week. Check it out. Let us know if you have any questions at the bottom of this YouTube video or the bottom of this blog post. And hop in our Carrot community, y'all. Community.carrot.com. We're going to be talking about this topic in there and helping you guys and gals with your websites and giving you guidance on exactly what you need to do to make this better. So community.carrot.com. It's open for all advanced marketer members right now, but we're opening up for all Carrot customers here shortly. Go get in the community if you're an advanced marketer member. We're going to help you through this challenge together, and we're going to come out the other side even better. We'll talk soon.